Hello and welcome to the channel. I'm Annie, this is Stanley, and we're here to talk about books. So today we're going to be going through my TBR for February, but first of all, let's make some tea. Oh my god, look at all the tea! Oh, I had a bit of a retail therapy moment, and I was so excited because Snowball was in stock, and I bought this in the first week of January, and yeah, normally Snowball is out of stock almost immediately when it comes into stock at Christmas, so very happy. It is black tea with chocolate and coconut, one of my favourites. Then we also have Canterbury Cup and Chaucer, which is black tea and elderberries, which I've never had before. Peach Cobbler, black tea and peach with cornflowers, which I know I like. Bell's Breakfast, I'm not sure I've had before, but it's black tea and rose, so fairly standard. Then I have Violet Cream. Oh, do love Violet Cream. It's black tea and it's just got cocoa nibs and mallow flowers, but it really does smell and taste of Violet Creams, which is quite rare for tea to taste the way that it smells. And Jasmine Poached Pears, which is green with jasmine and pears. So yay for new tea, which I am now going to put in the empty drawers. Yay! Full tea drawers. Yeah, I will tidy that up later. And I also got a couple of individual tea bags, because you always do. Chocolate digestives, which I'm not sure I'm going to like because it's got licorice root in it, but I'll give it a try. And Dozy Girl, which is chamomile, lavender and rose. Don't normally like tea that doesn't actually have tea in it, but that's actually pretty good combo. So maybe give it a try. Anyway, we are here to make some tea. And anybody who knows probability better than I do will probably be able to tell me. I'm assuming that the middle numbers are more likely on these dice, like they are when you do 2d6, because there are more combinations that add up to them. So, to make it more likely that I get some of my new tea, I'm going to make this cupboard 1 to 9 and this cupboard 10 plus. So we'll see whether that helps me out and gets me some of my new tea. 5 and 3 is 8. So no, the dice have not helped me out, but I did have some black coconut from a different tea cellar still left over. So I'm going to get new tea adjacent, because one of the new teas is black coconut. So I'll take it. It's fine. Wouldn't normally put black tea in this teapot because the leaves are quite small and there's no filter. But I'm sure it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Just have a few tea leaves in my tea. It's not the end of the world. Okay. Good old past me has already filled the kettle and boiled it, so we are ready to go with almost the last of the previous black coconut tea. Excellent. So now that we've got our tea, let's get on to the books that I'm planning to read in February. Now, I'm afraid there isn't going to be much excitement in terms of generating prompts or doing any kind of exciting theme, although wait until March TBR is going to be a good one. I'm really excited about that. But anyway, back to February. Regular viewers will know that I am taking part in HRCYED 2.0, the hardest reading challenge you'll ever do. And I only have a few prompts left in that massive reading challenge of 25 bingo squares, of which most of them require you to read 5 to 10 or even 15 books. And I've had such fun doing it. It's been so much fun over the last year doing this challenge. But I am now adding an extra little bit to the challenge to try and finish it in February with the last few prompts that I have to do. We will come to why that's not going to be possible later on. But for now, let's just go through the books that I have to read to finish off the last few HRCYED squares. So, first of all, I have to listen to the final book in the Three Sisters Island trilogy by Nora Roberts, which is called Face the Fire. And the reason I am listening to that is because it's going to complete the Become the Avatar square, where you have to read books with each element in the title. And Face the Fire is the last one. Fire, I've done all of the others, so that's going to tick off that square for me. Next up, I have to read The Garden of Evening Mists by Tan Tuan Eng, which I'm doing for my Reviews Revisited series in February, where I pick a book I've read before and I reread it. So I have read this before, don't really remember much about it, and I'm not going to look at what it is about on the back because I need to kind of guess and figure it out from what I remember in that video. But that's going to do double duty for Asia. So it's going to fulfill the Asian Heritage Month square, and it's also going to fulfill the Round the World square for Asia. So that's going to be my Asian book. Next up, a square where I have 2 prompts still to fulfill, and that was the Make a Quote square. So you had to pick a quote from something that means something to you, and then read books for each word in the quote. And I picked Fear is the Price of Our Instrument, which is Hannibal Lecter talking about imagination, which is something that's always resonated with me. And I have 2 left to do. So I have Our Holiday by Louise Candlish for the hour. And this is also going to fulfill the published in 2024 square, which is going to finish off my last 10 years prompt square. So that's that one. This is a thriller. I've read one of hers before. It's about a couple going on holiday, and their friends have bought a property nearby, but rising tide of resentment towards second homeowners is heading their way. Act of criminal damage, families torn apart. I don't know that I'm necessarily massively looking forward to reading this, but I don't think it's going to be a difficult book to read. I don't remember whether I liked her book that much, the previous one, so maybe I'll have to put it on the Reviews Revisited schedule. We'll see. But yes, so there's that one. And the other one is I have to read The Price of Salt by Patricia Highsmith. It is a very weird edition of this book. It's very big and it's very stretched, and it kind of looks like the thing on the back has been embiggened, and the words inside have like massive margins. So it's quite a weird edition. Anyway, The Price of Salt by Patricia Highsmith, which is came out in 1952, and it's a famous lesbian love story written under the pseudonym Claire Morgan. And I am looking forward to that because I've heard of this, but I've never read it, and that's going to be price in my Fear is the Price of Our Instrument quote to finish off that square. It's also going to help me out in TBR-a-thon, because in one of those challenges I'm going round a game board, and the square I landed on for February was to read a debut, and this was apparently her debut. So I'm reading a debut from 1952, so I think that's quite interesting. So there's that. I also have to finish off the non-fiction square because I've been struggling a little bit to find non-fiction that I've been enjoying. And I went through, we do have 2 bookshelves of non-fiction directly behind you, actually. is the bookshelves, which you will see if you ever watch my Read It or Yeet It videos, because I sit in front of those bookshelves for those videos. And most of those books, I'll be honest, most of those books are Dave's. My husband Dave reads a lot more non-fiction than me, so most of the ones that we've kept are his. So I perused our shelves for non-fiction that I thought sounded interesting, and I came across this book called Open Borders, The Science and Ethics of Immigration, which is by Brian Kaplan and Zach Weinersmith, and it's a comic. So I think that's going to be interesting. It's going to be hopefully relatively easy to read because it's a comic, quite fast. I admit it's not cheating at all because it's still a book, but I am making it easier for myself with the comic book. But it does sound really interesting and quite topical, I guess. So yes, that one's going to finish off the non-fiction square for me. And then I have the new releases square, and that's why I'm not actually going to be able to finish HRCYED in February, because I have to read new releases for April and May, and I can only read them 60 days prior to their publication for it to count. And the book that I have picked for May is going to be published on the 5th of May, so I can't actually read it until the 5th of March. So I will be reading that in March, but I'm putting it in this TBR because it fits in with the finishing off HRCYED. Anyway, so the April one that I'm going to read is called Total Blank. This Song Is About Me by Melissa de la Cruz, which I believe is about a singer who shoots to stardom and about what that does to her life. And the one that I've picked for May is Come Back to the World by Catherine Ryan Hyde, which I believe is set in Australia and is about a writer who has shut themselves off from the world, and a family, I think it's a mother and son, who befriend them and bring them back out into the world. It sounds lovely. So I won't be able to read that until March, but I'm sticking it in the HRCYED finishing off TBR video. I hope that makes sense. It makes sense in my head, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it makes sense to anybody else. You understand me, don't you, Stanley? Say you do. Anyway, I also have other challenges that I'm doing because of course I am. And one of those is the buzzword challenge, where there is a theme for titles and also a separate theme for covers each month. And the one for February is a keyboard key. So something to do with a key that you will find on a standard keyboard. And regular viewers will recognize this book because it's been on the TBR a couple of times before and I just haven't got to it. But I am going to read in February Dinner at the Homesick Restaurant by Anne Tyler for my title keyboard key, because there's a home key on the keyboard, so I'm using Homesick as the home key. So I am actually looking forward to finally getting round to reading this book, because it's been on and off the TBR a few times. So now it's representing a bit of a fail from my point of view, that I have said I'm going to read it several times and I haven't got round to it. But also that is a success to a certain extent, because it demonstrates that I'm not keeping myself absolutely rigidly to the TBRs that I set, which if it doesn't work out in terms of time or in terms of mood or whatever. So I think actually I should see it as oh my God. I should see it as a success, because it means that I am not making myself miserable to keep to my reading schedule. And last but not least, there is a book that I do not know the identity of quite yet, which I hope is going to be doing quite a lot of heavy lifting in February, because I'm also doing the TBR spin with Sarah Freshley from Freshly Read Books. And that is where you pick 12 books from your existing TBR to read throughout the year. And once a month, Sarah does a live show where she spins a spinner wheel for a prompt, and then you pick the book from the pile that fits the prompt best and then read that in the month. And I don't know what that prompt is yet because I am filming this video the day before. In fact, I could have waited till tomorrow, but the schedule's not going to work out that way. We're doing the live show for the TBR February spin tomorrow. So I will put up here what the prompt was. I also know that that book is definitely going to fulfill my Magical Readathon Adventures in Aeldia prompt for the month, which is the map where I'm traveling around. And the prompt that I got this time was, because I'm leaving the city in the middle of the map and I'm heading south, so the prompt was to read a book from my bottom shelf. And luckily my TBR spin book pile is set aside on the bottom shelf of my TBR bookshelf, so I know that whichever one gets picked from the TBR pile will fulfill that prompt because they're all on the bottom shelf, which is very handy. But I also have the cover for Buzzword, which is characters in silhouette. And 3 of my TBR spin books have silhouette characters on the cover. So I am very much fingers crossed that whatever the prompt is for TBR spin, I can fit one of those 3 books onto it. And I will say now, yay or nay, whether that was the case. Fingers crossed on that, and I can do all 3 prompts from the one book. If not, I will have to find a different book with silhouette characters on the cover. And if that is the case, I will say what that is now. It's a bit complicated. Sorry about that. Should have waited a couple of days to film this video, but I'm not going to have time before it needs to go up to do that after the TBR spin live show. So we are where we are. And yes, I should say that G from Book Roast, who created the amazing Magical Readathon and runs it every year, did drop an extra year-long challenge for her patrons a few days ago. And that is a word for each month, which can be interpreted in whatever way you want. And for February, the word was love. And so luckily, I'm going to be able to fit that in with Face the Fire by Nora Roberts, because that's a romance. So I don't have to find an extra book for that. So that's good. And that's it, I think. So that's all of the books that I have to read to finish HRCYED, plus a couple of extras for TBR Spin and Buzzwordathon. Yay! So this is the pile that I've got of physical books that I know that I'm reading. And we've also got an audiobook and whichever the TBR Spin book is. So there you go. Looking forward to that. It's going to be interesting not having to worry about HRCYED for a few months. What am I going to do with myself? Mood read? Of course not. Anyway, there we go. Thank you very much for watching. Let me know if you have read any of the books that I am planning on reading and what you thought of them, or if you are also taking part in HRCYED or any other of the massive array of amazing reading challenges that are out there. Do let me know what it is and how it's going, and whether you love reading challenges as much as I do. But otherwise, I will see you again in another video very soon. Please do give this one a like if you liked it, and subscribe for more content from me and Stanley talking about books. Yes, see you again soon. Got ready a bit early there, Stanley, but now you can wave. Bye for now.